Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Edilia Gens, the director of FEDORA. Also, on behalf of our president, Mr. Jérôme François Zisnis, I wish to warmly welcome you all to FEDORA's first online event. Today, we have all come together to celebrate generosity and creativity without borders. And we are delighted to have you with us in this call, but also following us on our YouTube Live. We're bringing together today our nominees of this year's competition, our members, artists, donors, partners, and representatives of the press. And we are very much looking forward to seeing and discovering the projects that will be shared with us today. This event marks the beginning of the nominee phase of the FEDORA Prizes competition 2020, and it is also the first time that we actually enable, on the one hand, the nominees to live pitch their creative work to an international audience, and on the other hand, also the audience, you can learn more about the behind the scenes of the creation process and also what it will take to allow these projects to finally reach the stage in hopefully a near future. And combined with these opportunities, the novelty of this year is that you have the opportunity to support your favorite projects on our platform, and you'll be able to do this from wherever you are, because we will be connecting for the first time to Europe's new online transnational giving platform. We were able to co-develop this new capacity building activity this year thanks to the collaboration with our new expert partner, BPI, Business Performance Institute, as well as with our major donor, Sylvie Matz, who we wish to thank for their encouragement and very helpful advice and support. So allow me to share with you today's program. We are really honored to have with us today two speakers from the European Commission and Transnational Giving Europe. And just before I go further, just to let you know, we are recording this session and it's also live on YouTube. So today's program is all about welcoming the key partners who are making this possible. We have from the European Commission, Guglielmo Di Cola, who is with us, who is a member of the Cabinet of the European Commissioner of Innovation, Research, Culture, Education and Youth. And also from Brussels, Ludwig Forrest, who is the head of international philanthropy at the King Baudouin Foundation, who will be presenting to us Europe's first online transnational giving platform. And then we will leave the floor to my lovely colleagues, Solène, Müge, Hélène, and François, who will be moderating the presentations of this year's nominees. So with no further ado, I would like to now hand over the floor to Mr. Guglielmo Di Cola, who's with us today. Thank you so much for being with us. Just have to unmute yourself. Can I hear you?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, perfect, perfect.
Okay, sorry for this little technical problem, and thank you very much, Edilia, for welcoming me, and thank you very much also for the invitation that you have extended to Commissioner Gabriel. Unfortunately, she cannot be with you today, but she has asked me to replace her and to deliver a couple of words. I'm happy to be here on her behalf to celebrate the launch of FEDORA's new online Transnational Giving Europe platform. You all know that FEDORA is supported by our Creative Europe program, and I can honestly say that it ranks as one of the best and the most prestigious projects. So congratulations for this. In today's world where we can buy almost anything at the click of a button, donating money abroad remains unnecessarily complicated. The promising tool that you will launch today will radically simplify cross-border donation for the arts and facilitate philanthropy across Europe. This could also create new opportunities for arts organizations across Europe. You all know that the cross-border dimension is something that we attach great importance with our programs Erasmus Plus and Creative Europe. And by using digital opportunities and moving online, we are also encouraging smaller donations as well as bigger ones, thus reaching out a much wider audience. We are also sending out the message that philanthropy is for everyone and that everyone can make a difference. By attracting new audiences and bringing them closer to the artists, you are also encouraging new interactions and generating new creative communities. And I want to stress this because I think, and Commissioner Gabriel thinks as well, and I think she's been saying this for quite some time, is that in times like this, we need solutions that come from the sector. And here I see also a link with another initiative that was carried out by the sector. It's the European Cultural Solidarity Fund that has been set up by the European Cultural Foundation at the very beginning of the crisis. So I think that you can be proud because you are breathing new energy into the performing arts and inspiring a new generation of culture makers in Europe. And the nominees of the FEDORA Prizes this year are full of talent, creativity, and beauty. On our side, through Erasmus Plus and Creative Europe, we will fund new projects to provide support to artists and organizations. Already, we have set up 2 European platforms to help share challenges and solutions in relation to the impact of COVID-19 and on the culture and creative sectors. And you might be aware that last Friday, we held, for the first time, a conference through the platform called Creatives Unite. It was for the first time that we could have a direct exchange with all the sector and that the 3 European institutions were represented. And now we're thinking about giving a follow-up to this by establishing a structured dialogue with the sector. So just to conclude, I would like to say that in these dark times, culture, far from being a luxury, I think everyone has realized that it is a necessity, and that our rich and vibrant culture and creative scene is one of the greatest gifts Europe has to offer, and it must be preserved at all costs. Today, we all celebrate new talents and new opportunities for the arts. And before I finish, let me just mention two elements which I think are important. The first is innovation. And you know that for the first time, the Commission responsible for culture is also responsible for research and innovation. And here I would like to mention 2 tools that are important and which I think you have to think about in the future. The first is Horizon Europe, that will have for the first time a cluster dedicated to culture. And the second is a new KIC, so Knowledge Generation Community, that will be managed by DIT, it's the European Innovation and Technology, and that will be dedicated to culture and creative sectors, and will be launched, if I'm not mistaken, in 2022. And I think that this is also a very good news for the sector. And the final one, also because in the cabinet of Commissioner Gabriel, I'm also responsible of sport. What I like very much about this platform is that it actually links with other policies. And one of these policies is sport. So this is all on my side. Thank you once more, first of all, for having invited Commissioner Gabriel, and second of all, for accepting me to replace her. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for being with us. And it is such an honor also to be selected to work and collaborate with the European Commission. And we're very grateful for your trust and encouragements over the last 3 years already. And it's also, again, thanks to the support of the Creative Europe program that this platform exists and that the nominees can be featured in this way with the crowdfunding tool and transnational giving as of this year. So thank you so much for being with us. And we're thrilled now to hand over to Ludwig Forrest, who is Head of International Philanthropy at the King Baudouin Foundation, who will present the long-awaited launch of Europe's first online transnational giving platform. Ludwig, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Edilia. Good afternoon to all of you. You said it already, Mr. Nicola. This is really an initiative from the sector, and it's important. And thank you for your nice words. It started 3.5 years ago when Edilia called me. I didn't know who you were, Edilia. You called me and you said, "Look, I have an idea. Let's build a European cross-border giving platform to support opera projects." And like every person in the world, the only thing I could say to Edilia is, yes, of course, let's do that. And so now today we are there. We are there really 3.5 years later with already beautiful achievements, but today is an important day. Transnational Giving Europe is a network that exists since 20 years. It is covering 21 countries in Europe, and it's really there to enable cross-border philanthropy in Europe. The principle is extremely simple. You are a beneficiary somewhere in Europe. You are reaching out to the Transnational Giving Europe partner in your country. They are validating the fact that you are a very trustful beneficiary. And from that moment, you can fundraise in 20 other countries in Europe in a very simple way. This was possible, but not yet online. And that is the big innovation of today. Today, these digital borders for philanthropy in Europe will be a little bit less strong, sorry, and we will facilitate, thanks to this platform, we will facilitate cross-border philanthropy, digital cross-border philanthropy. Today, for me and for the network, it is I will say it in French, it is un aboutissement, because I didn't find the right translation in English. Is it a completion, an achievement, an accomplishment? I don't know. Aboutissement is really the word I have in mind. But it's also a start. The start is because we are covering already some countries with this platform, but there could be many more. You see them on screen. We are covering 12 countries out of the 21, but this will increase quite quickly. The platform will improve. Today, it is the launch. Tomorrow, the real work continues, and then we will improve this platform. There will be problems. No, like in every ambitious project, there will be problems, but we will be there to solve them, and solutions will be found. Suggestions, your creativity are most welcome to improve this cross-border giving online tool. What I would like to do is, I would really want to say thank you to some of the actors. Thank you, FEDORA, for bringing this idea. We had this in mind with TGE, but you came as the first to push us to do it. Thank you to Creative Europe for their support, but also for this incredible vision that allowed this platform to be there to support opera projects, to support FEDORA, but also to be built to support beneficiaries all over Europe and with all topics: poverty, research, nature, environment, climate. So thank you for this vision, and thank you for allowing this. Thank you to Common Goal, the football pledge movement, the philanthropic football pledge movement that is growing, and that helped FEDORA, Transnational Giving Europe, to with brilliant ideas, because the needs were quite close to the opera sector. So yes, opera and football are pushing philanthropy in Europe. Isn't that a nice image? Thank you to all the TGE partners. I know there are some of them there today following this, because you accepted this digital revolution for the network. It was about time, you know that, but thank you to the partners, and a special thank you to Swiss Philanthropy Foundation, of course, that helped the financing of it. Thank you to iRaiser, because for every digital platform, you must have a kind of digital partner, and in this case, it is iRaiser. So iRaiser will be there at all sides as soon as there is a small issue, but also to celebrate the successes of this platform. And then, last but not least, I would really like to thank Anne-Laure, our TGE network manager, because she worked, I think, days, I'm sure, and I think also some nights to be ready for today. So thank you for the job you did. And I will hand over to you again, Edilia.
Thank you so very much, dear Ludwig, for sharing with us the launch. It is indeed, it has been quite a journey, and we're really thrilled that this dream has now become a reality today, and that you can actually use this new tool that you can find also on our platform. So thank you so much also to all partners involved for all the energy and commitment that went into this, and that is now benefiting the entire nonprofit sector, who can also use this tool to raise funds across Europe. After this wonderful introduction of our two guest speakers, I would like to now lead us into the second part of today's session, the nominees of this year, that are brought to you with the support of Generali Van Cleef & Arpels, Carney, and a private foundation. And I just wanted to give you a brief overview over the 4 categories that we will be speaking about today. These are privately funded prizes, as I mentioned, and we are able to identify the best projects that you will be seeing today, thanks to the collaboration with our expert partners, Opera Europa. And the juries of the Opera and Ballet Prize are chaired by Nicola Spain. So great thank you for this collaboration, and also with Razio, who is helping us for the Education Prize, with Ryan Hutchings, who collaborates with us, and Bernard Foucault, who is the chair of our jury. And for the newly created Digital Prize, we are very grateful about the new collaboration with the IMZ and Peter Manura, who chairs our jury. And Katarina Jeschke, who has been setting up with us this new prize category over the last year. And these juries have put together a selection of 3 projects per prize category. And thanks to the votes that happened earlier this year through the audience, which you see here, we had over 30,000 votes. There's always 1/4 project per category that made it to this phase. So we're going to be showing you 16 projects, the best crème de la crème, as we say, of innovation that you can expect to happen and reach the stage in the years to come. I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that it's not just 16 people behind this, it is actually including 55 organizations that are collaborating in order to make these projects happen. So on average, each project is put together by 3 to 4 partners. So it's really about innovation through partnership. And an international dimension. We're happy to see that all these organizations are based in 19 countries. And of course, you can never go far without a team. The core team members represent 83 people from 20 different nationalities and 34 different professions. So it is the projects that you will see are profoundly international and interdisciplinary. And with no further ado, I want to now just briefly tell you how you can ask questions during this session, because there are going to be very many projects and you might have some questions to put forward to the team. So you have the possibility to put your written questions, ideally in English, in the chat box on Zoom, or if you're following us on the YouTube Live, you can also leave a comment, and the FEDORA team will make sure that we gather these questions and we will put a selection forward to the nominees at the end of the presentation of each prize category. So thank you for your curiosity, for listening, and with no further ado, I'm happy to hand over to my colleague Solène, who will lead us to the first prize category. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Edilia. Good afternoon. I am Solène Wanano, and I'm FEDORA's competition coordinator. We'll start the launch of this nominee phase with the FEDORA Digital Prize, which definitely has been this year's theme. The FEDORA Digital Prize has been launched with the support of Carney and in collaboration with IMZ International Music Plus Media Center. The mission of the FEDORA Digital Prize is to encourage digital innovation on and beyond the stage. To show you a bit more what kind of projects you can expect from this prize, we will now share a video about the Digital Prize category. And the nominees of the FEDORA Digital Prize 2020 are Monkey Nation by the Royal Opera House in the United Kingdom, Reboot by Sadler's Wells Theatre in the United Kingdom, Laila Immersive Installation by the Finnish National Opera in Finland, and last but not least, Stream and Music by Teatro Regio Torino, Italy. Today, we're honored to welcome the representatives of all 4 nominee projects to tell you more about these projects. We're happy to start with Monkey Nation by the Royal Opera House, which will be presented by Annette Mess, Head of Audience Labs from the Royal Opera House, and Ham, the illustrator, hip-hop producer and illustrator. You have 5 minutes, Annette. It's over to you.
Hello.
And Ham.
I don't know if you guys can see me. Can everyone see and hear me all right?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Hey, let's see if Annette's in the room. We'll wait for her.
I'm here.
Cool. Are you here? Annette, you good? I can't see you. This is the Zoom. This is the power of Zoom, everyone. I'm sure there's like dozens of people watching my scruffy looking face right now being like, what's going on? Hello, everyone. My name is Ham, the illustrator. I'm the creator of Monkey Nation and one of the creative team members. But before I begin, I want Annette to play something for you guys. I really appreciate it if you guys could all close your eyes for this. And yeah, just enjoy.
There's a little song that we sing in our movement down in the South. I don't know if you've heard it. It has become the theme song. We shall overcome.
You're now listening to the sounds of Halfcast.
Thank you very much. So hello, everyone. I'm going to start this off by just saying, like, Monkey Nation is a project that I started off when I was 14 years old and born and schooled in South Africa. And it was when I was a kid, I saw no one cared about the planet or climate change. No one wanted to have that conversation. So I started a comic book that I thought was going to be so crazy cool. No one could deny it. And it was all going to be focused about the planet and about what we have to do to save it. Monkey Nation is a trap opera VR experience set in the year 2500, and it follows a tribe from the country, inspired by the country I come from, Namibia, and my ancestors, the Khoisan, which are believed to be one of the oldest tribes living on the planet today. And what makes them special is they lived in the Namibian desert with almost no resources. So we've put them in the future with these robotic monkey helmets, and we're basically telling a story about what can happen if we try and save the world. See, there aren't a lot of stories by and for people like me, and I wanted to create something that could get new audiences involved in opera, but more importantly, get new people and new worlds and new communities to start caring about the planet, because we don't have much time left. Annette, take it away.
So when we met Ham in one of the labs that we organized at the Royal Opera House to bring together digital and new ways of opera making, we were really excited by bringing together this sound, the urgency of trap with sort of the epicness of opera, because for us, making opera that is urgent and talks to new generations is really what we're here to do. We're really excited about this project. We imagine this as a touring production so that we can go to new audiences and speak about the big, one of the big stories of our time, climate change, by bringing together technology, trap, and opera, and really talk to new audiences.
Absolutely. So guys, like Monkey Nation is something that we've all been really passionate about, and we're very grateful for all the support we've had. We've been invited to South by Southwest and gotten to travel the world, inviting the world into this project. And this is just the beginning. What you've heard are just the start of the demos with opera singers from the Royal Opera House and mixing it with trap, which is one of the biggest commercial sounding music in the world. So we're onto something really special, and we'd love to have you guys be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ham. Thank you, Hannet. We will now move to the project Reboot by Sadless Wells. Edie, are you here with us? I can see you, but we cannot hear you. Edie, are you able to join the call? If not, then maybe we will try to go back to Reboots in a few minutes, and we can start with the next project first. So, Miguel, can we move to Laila, Immersive Installation? Yes. So now Laila will be presented to you by Anastina Habasari, who is project manager from the Opera Beyond at the Finnish National Opera. So Anastina, it's over to you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, and here's my picture too. Hi, I'm very happy to meet all of you, and so interesting to hear about all the inspiring projects nominated in each category today. So as Solen said, my name is Anastina Habasari and I represent the Finnish National Opera and Ballet, and I work as the project manager for Opera Beyond, which is our larger program with which we want to explore what the new emerging technologies can bring to performing arts. And we see these technologies as a great tool for creativity, and through the new mediums, we can also open doors to reach new audiences. But also currently, when we have this, when live performance industry is suffering so dramatically from restrictions caused by the epidemic, we believe that new digital productions can also have an increasing role in the organization's programming. Our project Laila is a new immersive and interactive installation created by composer Esa-Pekka Salonen, whom you may know even better as a conductor, dramaturge Paula Vesala, sound designer Tuomas Norvio, and the Echo Collective, which is a group of artists and technical wizards specialized in immersive arts. Laila rejects the traditional roles of the performing arts as its music and visuality evolve and change in interaction with the audience. And in Laila, you are not just the audience, but one of the many actors shaping the piece and shaping the reality and the piece's content. And in this piece, each member of the audience have their own avatar in the piece and can even get a piece of their own voice heard as a part of Salonen's composition. In this dome-shaped space that you have a picture of in the slide, the audience is immersed in a dramatic voyage with exciting organic visuals and spatial sound. And technically, the universe is created through combining a variety of different technologies, from motion tracking to algorithms that actually modify the music uniquely each time. And thematically, the piece deals with the future prospects, hopes, and fears of the development of technology and artificial intelligence. But it also leaves plenty of space for the visitor's own interpretations and emotional response. And as I said, as it is in interaction with the audience all the time, it's no two experiences are the same. It's always different and unique. It's 20 minutes in duration, and it will have its premiere in Helsinki in August 2020. And the installation will later on tour various festivals in Europe, in North America and Asia. And we have also partnered up with Sveriges Radio and Baltic Sea Festival for this project. Can I have the next slide? Opera literature is full of passionate opera divas such as Aida, Salome, and Tosca. And these iconic ladies are now joined by Laila, who is not a very traditional diva, but a diva of the future. And as opera has always evolved in the sort of flow of time, we see Laila strongly continuing this story. And to end with, I would like to show you a little video clip. And in the video, we can hear how the composer Esa-Pekka Salonen himself describes Laila.
Laila is not like you or me. She's very different. She knows everything. She knows the past. She knows the future. She is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. She knows more than you do or I do.
Thanks.
All right, and actually we have Edie who is back with us. So if that's all right, we will now tell you more about Reboot by Sadler's Wells. Edie, I hand it over to you, and we look forward to knowing more about your project.
Hi everyone, I'm Edie Culshaw. I'm from Sadler's Wells in London in the UK. Sorry, I am slightly late. I got the time zone wrong. I'd like to talk to you today about this project Reboot, which is by a dance company called AOE. So Len, if you could go to the next slide, please. So Reboot is an ambitious and innovative live performance. It's a collaboration between artists and scientists and will involve humans interacting with artificial elements. I think we've got a video of the OAR trailer. Now, this is a piece that was commissioned by Sadler's Wells in 2018 using augmented reality technology. And if we could just have a look at that, that gives you an idea. I'm not sure if the quality of that for everyone was amazing, but I would urge you to check out their AOE's YouTube channel. But that was a piece involving audience members holding iPads and, with the augmented reality technology in public spaces inside as well as theatre. So I want to move on now to talk to you about Reboot. Reboot was born from a wish to make technology a tangible part of performance and reimagine audience participation. The aim is to bring artificial intelligence, which is an abstract hidden system, into a state of visible interaction with our audience, many of whom will never have experienced AI technology before. The loose narrative of the piece follows Lilith, a cryogenically frozen child. She's trapped in limbo, suspended between death and a future awakening. This is actually based on the true story of the youngest human ever to be cryogenized, who was a 2-year-old girl. Their piece comes in several parts. So part one is an interactive website, which will allow the audience to start engaging with the AI characters before the show starts. Part one is a 30-minute family-friendly experience, which will bring the audience into a surrealist environment on stage, revolving around Lilith in limbo. This will use proximity sensors and a depth camera to create 3D animated characters who are able to acknowledge the presence of the audience and interact with them, stepping out of the machine and into the real world. In part two, the AI and biometric data-driven live performance will explore the awakening of Lilith. 20 audience members will be equipped with biometric sensors on their clothes, and they will join 5 dancers on stage. They'll wander throughout the set, throughout the performance. These sensors on their clothes will capture their heart rate, their breathing, and their stress levels. The collected data will then feed into the AI system, which will adapt and react to the audience's behavior throughout the set. The audience will therefore directly impact the narrative through emotions they can't control, evolving in a responsive environment. It's the technology fueled by human data which allows the narrative to unfold. It's quite a complex thing to grasp, and I'll try and answer any questions as best I can. The remaining audience who are seated in the auditorium will watch from their seats. They'll see a 3D holographic projection, which will be controlled by the AI system. The aim is to give the AI a physical presence and make it an extension of our world. This piece showcases the potential of AI as a force for creativity, not something to be feared, as it often is portrayed as. We can see through this piece that the collaboration between AI and human creativity can produce really exciting results. We also feel like it's very important that artists use AI. It can act as a catalyst to push our human creativity. Equally important is engaging children and young people with this kind of technology. As many as 1 in 4 young people in the UK are considering a career in AI at the moment, and they may not have considered the creative possibilities that AI can provide. So now I want to talk to you about the artists themselves. It's a company called AOE, and it's founded by Esteban Formi and Aoi Nakamura. So AOE. Their vision is to incorporate technology into the theatre experience and bring audiences closer to the art of dance using these technologies. They're the only dance company touring internationally using these technologies, and they're real pioneers in our sector. They mix different art forms with technology, offering a new perspective for dance audiences of all ages. Previous work includes their first major commission, Whist, which toured to 23 venues in 10 countries and was seen by 8,000 people. We, Sad as Wells, then commissioned OAR, which we saw the trailer for earlier. For this particular project, they've gathered together an amazing group of people to create this project spanning many fields. This includes Dr. Paul Verschure, who is the lead AI developer. He is the Director of Synthetic, Perceptive, Emotive and Cognitive Systems at the Institute for Bioengineering in Catalonia. Soft wearable designer Eva Agakuchak, who's a researcher in the effects of wearable technologies. Christoph Muller, set designer. Niels Prayer, motion designer, and the dancer and choreographer Chenwei Li. AOE were programmed for our digital festival, which was due to take place this April. Obviously, that didn't go ahead but we look forward very much to working with them on this ambitious project. During lockdown, they have run a week-long virtual 360-degree filmmaking workshop, which was attended by artists across the world. I'm actually a trustee for this exciting new company, and they are really, truly ones to watch. They're very talented and very ambitious. So I want to talk to you about supporting this piece. This is a completely new way of experiencing dance. There's nothing like it in the world. It's also an opportunity for dance audiences, particularly young audiences, to experience AI. It uses AI as a force for creativity. The AI is influenced by human emotions. The piece, AOE as a company are using some of the most advanced digital technologies in the performance world. Could this potentially be the future of performance? The piece, as I'm sure you'll gather, requires some very specific, very high-tech equipment, which, as you can imagine, is quite expensive. So this is why we need your support now. Just to recap on the project and the idea, so they really are the only dance company using this kind of technology. AOE have assembled an expert team to realise this piece. There will be several ways of interacting with the work, online via a website, a family-friendly installation, and the main performance, in which biosensors worn by audience members will inform the technology that allows the narrative to unfold. This ambitious project will introduce new audiences to AI technology, in particular to children and young people. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Edie. And last but not least, we will now move to the project Stream and Music by Teatro Regio Torino, who is presented by Mr. Sebastian Schwarz, General Manager and Artistic Director of Teatro Regio Torino, and joined by Giacomo Giannella, who is a digital video artist from String Colors. So over to you, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, everyone. It's been great to see and follow your really exciting projects, and I can't wait to see them all in action, live or digitally. So good luck to everyone. I'm Sebastian, and later you will hear from Giacomo about the more technical aspects of our project. In opera, we tell stories. We tell the stories of Mimi and Rodolfo, of Pamina and Tamino, of Carmen and Jose, and we enter their worlds through the eyes of a director and through the eyes of a set and costume designer. We follow their interpretation and their vision of the story. But every interpretation and every vision has an origin, is born somewhere deep down inside our brains, and is influenced by our senses and our experiences. Some of us are born with a heightened sense of imagination, and others need to be taken by the hand and offered a gentle guidance when taking their very first and shaky, insecure steps into a new world, into new dimensions of storytelling. With Stream and Music, we want to help our audiences, young and old, both familiar and unfamiliar with the world of live theater, to make these first steps. And therefore, we're taking a step back from what we've seen so far in the projects that are already artistic productions that are really exciting. But we want to attack our audiences, if I may say it this way, a little earlier. And we want to help us create the spark in our audiences that will then be able to much better appreciate the finished projects. We want to help them make these first steps with the help of technologies which humanity has created over the years. And developing Stream and Music, our project, we wanted to create a project where our audiences could actively participate in a unique and immersive experience in which they turn from mere consumers or spectators to actual co-creators. Together with our partners at Stream Colors, we turned this desire into a reality with our immersive chamber, which will hopefully help to generate the first sparks of imagination, and which will possibly might lead to fully formed artists who will create exciting projects like the ones we've seen here already today, or who will simply create more alert audiences, more fully able to appreciate what live theater and opera have to offer. So that's where we want to start creating new audiences. We're all working individually and now here also together in encouraging individual giving. That certain projects we cannot realize within the restraints of a government given or box office given budget. I want to thank everyone who's here who has that wide of a vision, who understands that this individual giving is absolutely necessary to encourage creativity and encourage creativity to not only take place within the four walls of a theater, but actually go beyond, go out there and find the new audiences. But with that also our new artists. We talk about sustainability everywhere, economic sustainability, ecological sustainability. We also need to think about obviously where our audience come from, but also where our new artists come from. And artists normally develop from what starts early on as spectators, audiences themselves. I would now like to pass on the word to Giacomo, who will tell you more about the technical aspects of streaming music. Thank you.
Can we see the movie before, just to give an idea of the project? Yeah. So thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Giacomo, just to let you know, you have about 1 minute left. And you're still muted.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Thank you, everybody, for inviting us. So the story behind streaming music is how we can use technology to create tools able to enhance imagination, but also enhance contents. So we decide to develop this platform that is based on game technologies. It uses Unreal Engine, that is a very power game engine. And our idea is to create different experiences to bring people to be as co-creators of contents. So we start from a stream machine that is a tool able to create live visual remixes of images, videos, and also live cam. And so starting from that, we define a strategy where people can be part of the show inside the immersive room as a teasing of the contents that the theater can show. And the second part is bring this technology live during the event as interactive scenography, just to enhance the language, the musical language with new visual languages. And the third part is create handcraft merchandising. So Stream Machine is able to create 1 billion images starting from one single image, and the user can interact and create their own design. So starting from that, we want to create some handmade ceramics that are able to connect the experience to online contents like movies or work in progress material, but also to bring empathy between the theater and new target and new audience. So thanks everybody. I love the project. I love how the platform is presenting, and thanks all for the opportunity to bring Stream Machine in the theater. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Giacomo. We will now start the Q&A. And we have received a very interesting question from Matteo Cosiliacabodi, who is asking to all of you from the digital category, what opportunities do you see in launching your projects in these unusual times? Is there any one of you who would like to answer, who wishes to answer this question? Edim, do you want to answer that? I see you smiling, or you're muted.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I think with Reboot, particularly with the ability to interact with the website before you actually get to the performance, that's a way that even people who couldn't make it to the performance could experience the piece. I also think just the mere fact that the audience is actually probably a lot smaller than a full auditorium, that could lend itself quite well to a socially distanced performance, and also with the part before the performance itself, that is very much kind of autonomous. So family groups would be moving in an autonomous way, meaning it could also be socially distanced as well. Yeah, I think that's, things that we're thinking about at the moment is how we can actually get people back into venues in a safe way to experience new art. So perhaps that's something we could think about with this particular category.
Definitely. Does anyone else want to answer this question?
Well, I think it is a great opportunity, or it's circumstances that we can actually make to our strength now, and especially because there is the limitations on how many people we can have in the big hall. We can it's great that we can now offer these alternative ways to experience opera in new ways, also because for example in Laila we have only 5 visitors at the same time, so it's really a good time for it. And also I think like in a broader picture, I think all the digital technologies have now really shown their strength, and like through like the video meetings and what we are doing even here right now, I think it's a really great time, and it brings belief to people that technology can live with us and like become even stronger way to communicate and spread different kinds of content.
For us, it's very important to use technology to bring new audience and to create new opportunities to understand the world behind the theater and operas. So basically what we hope is that these 3 different solutions that we study cover everywhere and everyone. And our idea is that you can stay at home and activate your interest, your empathy for the theater without being in the theater. And when you are in the theater, you feel a very deep experience. So the pandemic issue teach us that we have to create value in the real place, but we have to build a better digital world behind the real world. So now we are in the time and in the place to create this bridge and bring all the attention to the incredible value that the theater and the opera has.
Absolutely. I'd like to add to that on behalf of Monkey Nation And I think what I'd like to add is, like, when we talk about opera and dance and what digital really brings to it, like, we have to have the conversation of inclusivity. Now, traditionally, opera houses and these institutions with things that, only certain people could get access to. When you look at someone like me, we have to look at the modern world we live in, where social media and people's attention spans are so limited. Digital gives us the opportunity to really put our best foot forward in the shortest way possible. So with Monkey Nation, it's about how do we capture audiences within the first 10 seconds of them interacting with our digital content, inviting them to become part of the story that is opera and dance. And I think digital allows us this opportunity to grab people's attentions, pull them in ways that, opera or dance alone traditionally haven't been able to. And it's such a powerful opportunity. COVID now has further emphasized this and the need for this kind of content. So it's not even a question as much as we're now experiencing the future.
Well, thanks. And thanks to all of you from the digital category nominees for presenting and for being with us here today. I will now leave the floor to my colleague Müge, and who will tell you more about the Education Prize categories and nominees. Over to you, Müge.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Müge Nazaltay. I'm the FEDORA's platform coordinator. The FEDORA Education Prize was launched for the first time last year with the support of a private foundation and our expert partner, RISEO. The aim of this prize is to really boost social integration and intercultural dialogue through opera and ballet. It really harnesses the power of arts on emotional learning for everyone, and it seeks to engage with new audiences, especially the younger ones. Before presenting our nominees, I would like to show you a video. And the FEDORA Education Prize nominees are Going for Gold by Birmingham Opera Company in United Kingdom, Edu Opera for Special Youth by Stara Zagora State Opera in Bulgaria, Blue Water, Acqua Profonda by Teatro Sociale di Como in Italy. Le Fenice tells you a magical ring between gnomes, giants, and heroes by Fondazione Teatro Le Fenice in Italy. Today, we are very happy to host all of the representatives of all 4 nominee projects, and I wish to now give the speech to Richard Willesee from Going for Gold to present their project.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, FEDORA and supporters. It's great to be here and to see all the projects that have been shortlisted. So our project is called Going for Gold. I thought I'd take this opportunity to explain as much about the work that we do, really, the reason for doing it, as the title. So for some of you who may know us, you'll know that we have no separate education department, which might make it unusual for us to be nominated for an education prize. And that is really to do from the beginning. We've worked on a unified structure where there isn't any separation. And the company was established by Graham Vick and Simon Halsey in 1987 to tour small scale opera to community centres around the UK. And then in the year 2000, we opened up the doors to invite anybody that wanted to take part in the show to give them the opportunity to take part. And now in the 20th year, there are thousands of people that are inspired on their own doorsteps, in supermarkets, in community centres, And each of those people who we meet on the street are given a chance to be in the production. So if we move on, as to the reason for it all is that, of course, like every other opera company, we want to say that opera can speak to all. But the test that we give it is that in Birmingham, we think really that opera can learn from education, and it's the opera that is doing the learning and not necessarily only the people that we meet. And we meet 98% new people every year, new audiences, and we remove the barriers for them, which are normally ticket prices, attitudes, working in only arts organizations. And we ask the question, what can opera be for you? And from that, we and opera learn how we can change. So if we move on as thinking about it into what the results are, effectively, we have a participatory company. And the 100 events that we run through the year give a direct line into the end result. And quite often, community work and education work are kept separate from the main stage of an organization. And one of the concerns with that is that perhaps the output doesn't fit. It isn't at the core mission of the company. Well, here the output is at the core mission of the company, and the participation is at the core, and the results are positive. They have delivered in the last 7 years 3 of the major prizes. One, the International Opera Award for Best Production, which against large-scale organizations is a real test, both for the model and for its resonance in a modern city. We've won the Royal Philharmonic Society Award twice in the last 7 years. Again, the most prestigious award in the country, in the UK. This comes in productions and performances with groups of up to 250 people, many of whom have never been in an opera, and many of whom have never actually seen an opera. So in one go, we ask people to think differently about what opera can do, about where it can be seen, who can see it, and to try and reconcile any worries about quality and community, because the quality comes from the community being involved. If we skip to the next slide, we'd all say that we're all trying to make the world a better place. But opera quite often, and most industries and cultural industries, especially in a time of challenge like at the moment, can really find it hard to step outside of their own echo chamber. But the outside world is really thinking about exposed inequality. And the challenge for opera and for us in Birmingham is to think about how we can use opera as a tool which shows equality, which shows diversity, which shows society as we want it, as we would like it to be, that makes a positive contribution, asking what can art do for those outside, and rather than what can those outside do for us. So the idea comes with that everybody that comes to see one of our performances, or anyone that takes part in it, has enough knowledge of their own life experience, enough knowledge of their own emotional depth to be able to experience opera directly without somebody teaching them necessarily how to do it. In the next year, we'll take on 50 emerging artists to provide them with development and opportunities. We'll have 8,000 participants across the city, 100 online and offline face-to-face interventions, free training for 200 volunteers to take part in a large-scale production of what will be Das Rheingold. And for each of those things, of course, in order to keep it open, we look for support. And if we move to the next slide, in the long term, that support is very challenging. In a particular instance of Birmingham, we have 80% cuts from the city council over the last 4 years. So in order for us to really keep ticket prices low and make our work available free to those who need it at the point of access, it's only possible with support from those outside.
Richard, just to let you know, you're in your last minute right now.
Great, thank you. So we go to the next slide. So we'd like to invite you to join the journey. And what we show here, along with the pictures of all the previous productions and the previous slides, this is the very likely venue of our next production. This is what we need your help to transform into a fully operating, massive participatory event backed up by over 100 events in the next year leading up to it, to turn it into another world-beating operatic participatory production. If you want to find out any more about us, you can look at some of the stuff that's online at the moment, both on Opera Vision this weekend through the Châtelet Festival and on our BBC iPlayer if you're in the UK, or feel free to get in touch. We'd like to hear from you about how you think you may be able to support the work, what things we might be able to offer, and we'll start a discussion from there.
Thank you very much, Richard. We will now move on to Edu Opera for Special Youth to be presented by Mircea Hristov from International Cooperation and Projects, Stara Zagora State Opera.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is great honor and privilege for Stara Zagora State Opera to be among the finalists for FEDORA 2020 Education Prize, as well as to have the chance to present to you our project. It is called Edu Opera for Special Youth and is a pioneer initiative for Bulgaria. During the creative preparation of a new concept, we always ask ourselves, what is our message and why do we want to showcase it to the world? In the case of Edu Opera for Special Youth, we are very clear and sure why we want to do it. To begin with, there are non-sensory friendly performing art productions in Bulgaria so far. We believe there are many reasons this should be changed. We believe everyone should have the opportunity to visit an opera theater and enjoy a show. We believe opera and classical music can indeed improve social communication and functional brain connectivity in children and young people with autism spectrum disorder, Down syndrome, attention deficit and hyperactivity, as well as other developmental challenges. Our endeavor is going to unite the efforts of artists, educational experts, and psychologists, resulting in specially designed activities for children and young people with special educational needs, which will prepare them for unique performance on the stage of Stara Zagora State Opera. Our team believes that we all do better when we all do better. And our definition of we all includes also young people who are quite often ignored because of being different or because of needing more care. Our idea is ambitious and requires lots of efforts and resources. But we are ready to take this step because we care. If you believe in what we believe, we would be happy and very grateful to rely on your support. Thank you all for your attention, and special thanks to FEDORA and Recio for believing in our idea.
Thank you very much, Mircea. Now, Blue Waters Week Opera to be presented by Eleonora Pecetti from Fabrica Young Artist Program Fondazione Teatro dell'Opera di Roma and Roberta Sorso, Ufficio Education Aslico. Roberta.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, good afternoon from amazing Lake Como. And thanks to all the FEDORA team and all the presents for your time for having us. Acqua Profonda openly claims that opera does not belong to the 19th century. Opera is, today and always, the most complete and emotionally impactful form of art, and we want youngsters to be inspired by that. Today, we know that art cannot be separated from its cultural context, from the society it lives in, and this is why Acqua Profonda will feature an original composition and libretto with a precious collaboration from Roma to address the very actual and urgent matter of water contamination worldwide. In the will to tackle a current matter, we felt it was necessary to bring new sounds that could charm our audience. Opera education has been an active and lively presence in promoting musical and theatrical education in Italy and beyond for 24 years now. This time, the participative project will swim out of classrooms and theaters and into the streets around the coast to become a civic project as well. Our young participants will have the chance to choose a local civic action to complete the project while preparing to sing the choir part during the play, as always. Art and opera can be an extremely effective means to show reality in disguise and inspire to action. The very much needed action to protect and care for our only beautiful and resilient planet. Imagine a theater full of children singing along with the live orchestra. Now imagine all those kids helping each other cleaning a beach or feeding a marine turtle. Youngsters have the greater vision and potential here, and with the support from the beauty of art, we can help them change the curse to this issue together. So please join our community to bring the endangerment of water and its fauna on stage and step with us in a healthier, happier future. We have a little teaser to show you, and you will be able to hear the beautiful voice of our first-time librettist, Giancarlo Di Cataldo, who is a very renowned writer in Italy. And we hope you will be inspired as much as we were from this little video.
C'era una volta, ma nemmeno tanto tempo fa, una dolce bambina di nome Serena che viveva col suo papà in una graziosa casetta sulla spiaggia. Il mare davanti era bellissimo e azzurro, ma purtroppo una grande fabbrica lo inquinava, la fabbrica di cui il papà di Serena era il guardiano. Mentre un vecchio marinaio sulla sua barca si lasciava dondolare dalle onde, un gigantesco animale marino sulla spiaggia attirò la curiosità della bambina. Avvicinandosi al mostro, Serena sentì un canto che le ricordò la voce della mamma, scomparsa tanti anni prima. La paura svanì. La balena era triste, soffriva per colpa della tanta plastica nella sua pancia. Il vecchio marinaio ricordava i bei tempi in cui stelle marine, delfini e tanti pesciolini nuotavano e giocavano nel mare cristallino. Così, insieme a Serena, entrarono nel ventre della balena per togliere tutta quella brutta plasticaccia, cercando di ridarle il sorriso. Ma quel prepotente di Padron Bu, il ricco proprietario della fabbrica, vedendo i due ripulire il mare e la balena dai rifiuti, montò su tutte le furie e ordinò al povero guardiano della fabbrica di ributtare i rifiuti in mare e di uccidere la balena. Il vecchio marinaio andò così in cerca di validi e coraggiosi aiutanti per fermare il Padron Bu, i pesciolini. Tutti assieme, Serena, il guardiano, il vecchio marinaio e i pesciolini fecero un grande scudo attorno alla balena e la salvarono dalle grinfie del cattivo Padron Bu. La balena, finalmente libera anche dagli ultimi avanzi di plastica, si sollevò verso il mare con un magico canto, lasciando in dono, come per magia, la mamma di Serena, che si unì ai festeggiamenti della famiglia, del mare e della terra.
For more information about the artistic side of this project, please let me introduce you to Eleonora Pacetti from Teatro dell'Opera di Roma.
Eleonora, the time is already over, but please, we are happy to hear your final words. Eleonora, can you hear us? Eleonora? Okay, I think she's out of the call.
I'm sorry, Eleonora wasn't able to speak, but for any information, you can go to our page
back.
and learn more. Oh, here she is.
Okay.
Hi,
yeah, I'm sorry, I fear I have an unstable internet connection, so it will be very short. So thank you very much, FEDORA, for the nomination, first of all, and I'm Eleonora Pacetti, the head of the Young Artist Program at the Teatro dell'Opera di Roma. And we collaborate to the project thanks to our creative team of the young artists who thought about an innovative staging that you will see, I hope, in Rome and in Como. And together with the composer Giovanni Sollima, we thought to a very melodic style opera that can be very enjoyable for every kind of public, and also some other things that are very very interesting about this project is the participation, in my opinion, of the Giancarlo De Cataldo as a librettist. It will be his first libretto, and he's a he's a bestseller novelist, playwright, and screenwriter in Italy, and he gave us a fantastic text that will be very, very touching and moving for this very sensitive themes that touches very much all of us, but that are the heart, in the heart of every kid of the new generation.
Thank you very much, Eleonora. So, now we are end of our time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will be now moving on to our last but not least nominee. La Fenice tells you, a magical ring between gnomes, giants, and heroes, to be presented by Monica Fracassetti from Secretariat of Superintendents and Artistic Direction, Fondazione Teatro La Fenice.
Yes, hello. I hope you can hear me. So good afternoon to you all. And first of all, we want to say that we are delighted to be part of the FEDORA Prize 2020, having achieved this public nominee for the education section. Our project is a new format in the content and in the music selection, and Wagner is our choice. Our focus is to offer to the young public and young audience an extraordinary musical journey using a simple language that they can easily understand. Our teachers are trained through workshops. Then they work with the children in their classroom, and this allows the students without opportunities or specific competence to approach the world of classical music. We have 3 singers, actors, and a fantastic scenography realized by the scenographic department of La Fenice. They represent the woods, then the cave, or even the Rhine River. Wagner's music, adapted to be usable and understandable, of course, and even sung together with the children audience, highlights moments of happiness and magic, but also at some moment of fear and also sadness. The various characters will appear as well through the use of puppets and the silhouettes, like the great final with the dragon, or the giant at the beginning of a story. The atmosphere that you will be able to see is an entertaining game that drags the audience from into the fantasy story that was not born for this kind of audience of children, because it was, of course, for adults. Through this tale, children learn that hunger for power can blind, and then that fantasy instead helps to overcome fears. The project will be proposed for all primary school and to 7,800 teachers of our community. And our goal is to expand our audience and to bring more people more as possible closer to the world of opera. Our partner are Padua Conservatoire for the musical rewriting and execution, And just for this project, you have to know that a master degree has been launched to study the role of the actor in the children's theater. And the AIDA Foundation, through Pino Costalunga, created the libretto starting from the analysis of the ring. It's a very punctual text without losing the magical and unreal aspect of the Wagnerian atmosphere. So your donation, if possible, will help us to promote the project among other educational activities and to offer online supports to teachers in addition to those that we already provide. So we want to thank you. And now you can see a short trailer of our magical ring.
Thank you very much, Monica.
Thank you.
As you know, we gathered some questions on our checkbox, and we have some very good question from Sylvia Matz. What has been so far your defining moment since you started your project? Richard, would you like to start maybe?
In our case, of course, our defining moment was when we planned the choice of the film, of course, and of course also the offer, which is not so common in Italy for schools and for families. So I think this was the point of our focus and thinking about the project.
Thank you very much, Monica. Is there anyone else who wishes to contribute this for their project? Richard, if you're there.
I can say that
yes,
maybe
Mircho.
one of the defining moments for us was the visit of a high schooler with Asperger's syndrome in our youth center. And he's really good at piano. He's studying at the local musical high school. And he visited our partner's premises because of his need to socialize and looking for activities. So we thought that maybe there are more young people who are interested in music and have a chance to find inclusion opportunities through music. So we decided that we would definitely need to develop something in this regard.
Thank you very much, Mircho. Is there anyone else who wishes to contribute?
Hi,
Richard.
I think for us, the defining moment was to decide that we're going to do it, whatever happens in the next 18 months. That it's the artist's responsibility to find an audience and to engage with them either online or offline, face to face, in whatever way, whatever scale between now and next summer. So for us, it'll be an adventure. We'll do lots of things that we've never done before, and we'll try and reach people in many ways that we've never reached them before. And from it, we'll all learn.
Thank you very much. Roberta, would you like to add something?
No, just as Richard just said, the turning point was really, let's do it. For us, it was trusting that an original composition could be possible in 2020. Opera can be born in another way, with another topic and another sound, and it can work and it should work. And if children understand that, then opera is fully alive now and tomorrow. So when we trusted that, we were ready to move on, and Roma supported us and gifted us with these incredible names. So we are we're ready to step in this.
Definitely. Thank you very much for all of your answers. We will now give a short break, a 10 minutes break, and then we will be back to discover opera and ballet projects. Shall we say at 4:40, we will be back.
So welcome back, everybody. I am Helen Fent, Development and Events Coordinator at FEDORA, and I'm happy to continue this session with the nominated project of the FEDORA Van Cleef & Arpels Prize for Ballet. The FEDORA Van Cleef & Arpels Prize for Ballet is one of the pioneering prizes of our competition. Thank you to the support of Van Cleef & Arpels and the collaboration of Opera Europa. This prize is awarded to innovative ballet creations from promising teams of emerging artists with the ambition to reach international audiences. As you know, images are way much more powerful than words, and we are happy to share with you the video of this prize category. And the nominees are Planet Wanderer by Chaillot, Théâtre National de la Danse in France, Light Back Dances by Official Company in the United Kingdom, Trap Lord by Sadler's Wells in the United Kingdom as well, Business as Usual by Ballet de l'Opéra de Lyon in France. We are honored to welcome the representatives of all 4 nominated projects. The first project to be presented is Planet Wanderer, and I am pleased to give the floor for 5 minutes to Monsieur Didier Deschamps, Director of Théâtre National de Chaillot.
Hello, it's a big honor to be with you here today, and I first would like to apologize for my very, very bad English language. If I love English, I speak very badly, you will see, and I hope. Yeah. So the meeting of choreographer with Damien Jallet and visual artist Kowen Awa sparked an immediate artistic bound. What brought them together certainly has to do with the chemistry of matter exuding from the shifting sculptures of the latter and the gestual language of the former. Damien Jallet has traveled around the world, infusing his pieces with inspiration drawn from the rituals and mythology of various places. Kowen Awa explores material and techniques through his sculpture and installations, which convey an organic outlook of the world. The previous piece co-produced by Chaillot, Théâtre National de la Danse, sorry, I lost my...
Yes, I think you... Can you hear me, Didier? Well, I think we will let you the opportunity to... Ah, you're here, great.
Do you hear me again? I'm sorry, yes. It's not my English, but technical problem.
Of course.
So I said that Planet Wanderer will travel through Europe and Asia, committed to protect the environment. Chaillot Théâtre National de la Danse strives to limit the carbon footprints of its international tour. Accordingly, Chaillot wishes to create a replica of the outstanding set designed by Kowen Awa for its European tour. The first set design in Japan will be used for the Asia tour. The second one, made in France in the scene shop of Opéra de Rouen in Normandy, will be dedicated to the European continent and travel to France, Spain, the Netherlands, Austria, and the UK. So we would like to ask you, do you want to support the eco-friendly tour of Planet Wonderwood? Do you want to be enable an exceptional work to be a stunning ecological journey as well? Your contribution is essential. Support the project by making a donation of your choosing amount. Because you will support the building of the shows set in France, because you strongly believe that it's urgent to revamp the production of shows internationally in order to limit their carbon footprint. So I would like to come back a little bit back and remember that the previous piece co-produced by Chaillot Théâtre National de la Danse, and the result of the collaboration between the two artists related two levels of the world creation according to Japanese mythology. The Alices and the world above clouds. Planet Wonderwood, the second installment of the speech, unfolds in the heartland of grids, in other words, in our world. Here, glittering black sand, a star or meteoric dust, shapes the landscape, in turn altered surreptitiously by the presence of body. From this physical encounter between human and unknown material, Planet envisions a visual and tragic love story between man and nature, with survival means adaptability. A very real, up-to-date subject of today, I think. So I don't know if you have any question, but I will try to answer to you.
Great. I hope you will have some question at the end of this presentation. Thank you very much for this very inspiring presentation of your projects. The second project in this category is Like Back Dances by Offerschecter Company. Let's be inspired by the video first, and then Mrs. Claire Lee, the head of development of the company, will talk about the project.
Back Dances, our first co-production with the Royal Danish Opera, is a new music and theatre piece, dance music and theatre piece, that will premiere at the Royal Danish Theatre in Copenhagen next spring in 2021. Co-directors Offerschecter and John Full James are joined by a creative team that includes conductor Lars Ulrik Mortensen and designers Tom Scott and Paulie Constable. This is one of the most ambitious and poignant pieces we've ever created at Offerschecter Company. A cast of 37 performers appear on stage together, including Baroque Orchestra Concerto Copenhagen, 8 singers and 8 dancers of our company. Bach's cantatas sung live are interwoven with a soundscape of voices. These are the recorded testimonies of people who are contemplating the end of their lives, who are facing the unknown. This work in development is blurring the lines between art forms, between performers and the audience, a work that explores the one certainty that unites us all, a piece about death that is life-affirming and celebratory. At the heart of this new co-production is artistic ambition, innovation, European partnerships, and international collaboration. Following the world premiere next spring, we are planning to present in London and to tour to cities across Europe, including Stuttgart, Luxembourg, and beyond. As a boundary-breaking touring company, taking work across the world is what we do, and we've been recognized for bringing contemporary dance to a whole new audience, particularly a younger audience. And at the heart of this new work, we hope, will be some of you. As part of today's launch, we're announcing our first international circle of support made possible by the new platform. Your combined investment will enable us to widen our casting and ensure our performers are internationally diverse and include exciting new talent. In this extraordinary moment, here now in 2020, as we look into the unknown, death is a truth that we all face. Performance is an act of possibility and shared hope. We'd love you to join us and create an international circle of support around this project and help to create bold new work that is capturing our present and shaping a future.
Thank you very much, Claire. The first project is now Trap Lord, presented by Phoebe Rees, Director of Development at Sadler's Wells. Phoebe, you have now 5 minutes to present your project.
Great. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Hi, fantastic. Well, listen, I'm Phoebe Rees. I'm the Director of Development at Sadler's Wells. And firstly, thank you, FEDORA, and all of you who are on the line today. It's so exciting to see these projects come to fruition. So I'm here today to tell you about Trap Lord, which is created by Ivan Blackstock, which is a piece which explores how socially disenfranchised young Black men grapple with some of the biggest philosophical questions of our time, but on their own terms. So it is due to be performed in a car park in a borough of South London, Peckham, for those of you who know it. And this is a truly unique piece of dance that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about today. But first off, I'm going to share with you a video. Fantastic. So, so the concept of this piece is driven by the frustration at the stereotyping of Black men in contemporary British society. And the piece has been developed in response to themes and ideas in a couple of key pieces of source material, such as Plato's Allegory of the Cave, William Golding's Lord of the Flies, and Franz Kafka's Metamorphoses. And then this is mediated through implements of trap, grime and hip hop. And the piece utilizes a raw and kind of confrontational style of dance, really, movement and also spoken word, to explore quite hard-hitting and blisteringly current themes of such as police brutality through to crime, drug taking, and gang culture. So there's the performance is at the heart of Trap Lord, but Ivan Blackstock has always been incredibly forward-thinking in terms of how you might have all the ancillary content around the project. So the project's designed to offer multiple entry points for younger audiences to explore the story alongside the performance itself. So there's an engagement project where a series of workshops will lead to the formation of a creative collective of young men aged 18 to 25. With a range of creative talents who will act as a sounding board to the creative team and will creatively contribute to the work. And this will provide those young participants with their first professional experience in theatre and in the arts. There's also going to be a film. Various moments, key scenes, aspects of the narrative will be made into a short film that can be released online. There's a photography project running alongside this, which will be documented as an exhibition. There's a streetwear collaboration where the costumes will be created in collaboration with a particular streetwear brand, and the music that's used will be also released prior to the stage production. So there's all of this ancillary wraparound, which is really exciting. So let me tell you a little bit more about Ivan. Born and raised in Peckham, where the piece will be performed, he's an artist, a choreographer, and an innovator, really. He began his training at the London Contemporary Dance School. He went on to work in music videos, advertising, and other dance productions with artists quite well known in the music industry, such as Dizzy Rascal, Rita Ora, will.i.am. He's also collaborated with brands such as Adidas, Reboot, Guinness, Samsung. He's worked with many of the leading names in hip hop and hip hop dance theatre, including Zoo Nation and also John Z. D. From Breaking Convention. John Z's an associate at Sadler's Wells. So after establishing quite a successful commercial career, to say the least, Ivan co-founded Bird Gang Dance, which is his own company, and created his own work out of that, including the critically acclaimed production Harlem Dream at the Young Vic, where he was appointed an associate artist. And more recently, he's been creating work via his alter ego, Swan Song. His work can be described as politically intense, multidisciplinary, thought-provoking dance theatre. And his work has been presented at Sadler's Wells, at the Breaking Convention Festival, Latitude, La Villette Theatre in Paris, and at the National Theatre's outdoor programme in 2017. So Ivan is the artistic director of Cross Platform, a new arts organisation showcasing what's next in street culture, funded by Arts Council England. Cross Platform presents a 2-day annual festival in Peckham, and it's curated to deliver high-profile partnership events with major cultural venues, including the South Bank Centre, Ace Hotel, Dance Umbrella, and Latitude. Other collaborators on this particular project include John Z.D., the artistic director and founder of Breaking Convention and associate artist at Sadler's Wells, Mikey J. Asante, a renowned producer, composer, singer, and DJ, and Magero, a poet and spoken word artist. So you can see that Ivan is somebody who has surrounded himself with, you know, a rich and interesting group of people kind of from the get-go, as well as renowned cultural organisations. So in terms of support, of course, what we really need now is just that. But like many other organisations and artists who have been hearing from today, this amazing work has had to go into storage while the world waits for certainty and when we can return to normal. But really, if you support this, you're helping to amplify the voices of young Black artists. You're providing the opportunity for the cultural sector for young men who might not otherwise have had that opportunity. It's a flexible piece. It could be adapted for socially distanced performances, and it's designed to engage young people online in particular. There's always risks associated with creating new work, but innovation is essential into keeping the art form of ballet fresh and relevant for contemporary audiences. Now, we're in the ballet category, and you know, there's not a point show in sight, but we see this as an innovative nod to that. So new work is really necessary to continue to developing talent and to encourage bold and exciting collaborations. But I think you'll agree that this piece really is quite unique. So if
I think you can go to the conclusion. Yeah, we are running out of time, so I think you can go to the conclusion.
Oh, I just have one more thing. That's it.
That's
so
perfect,
it's just to say, if you support, you'll be alongside Sadler's Wells and Manchester International Festival. We've been developing Ivan's work for a number of years, and this particular piece since 2018. So we have a digital output in autumn 2020, and then the piece will be performed in 2021. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Phoebe. Thank you very much. And now we will present the last nominee of this category, which is Bis and As Usual. And I'm now calling Marion Dupain-Scoton, Head of Development of Opéra de Lyon, and Ioannis Mandafounis, who is the choreographer of the project. I'm happy to give you both the floor for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Hélène. Hello, everyone. First of all, I wanted to thank very much FEDORA and FEDORA's partners for their support to arts and creation these days. We all know that we need it, so thank you very much. And as you know, we are the public nominee for Bis and S, and our collaboration with Ioannis Mandafounis and Lyon Opéra Ballet was nominated by the public, and I wanted to thank very warmly every people who voted for us for the first step of this competition. As you know, we don't go no longer to the competition for the prize, so your support will be very helpful for the project, and we hope to convince you that our project needs and is a great project. So I'll let Ioannis present it, and he is already in Lyon. He was in a rehearsal now, so he took a break to present you his project. So Ioannis, here you.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I have to turn the computer. We're far away because I couldn't put my little mask. So nice to meet you all. I also want to thank the audience for having chosen us as their member. That's really cool. Sorry for the style. So I'm a dancer, choreographer. I worked for various companies in my life and I have my own company right now and creating work for also other companies. In this project, I'm going to work with David Kretonic, which is my light designer, and the dancers of the Ballet de l'Opéra de Lyon, which I'm very happy. I wanted to say that this is really, for me, and I hope for the dancers, a kind of collaborative creation. So it's really going to be like a meeting between a choreographer and the dancers, which I'm really trying in the work to enhance the dialogue and all possibilities that are able to create a piece, so that I'm not only the only choreographer, but we really create this through a dialogue. And I want also to thank all the partners that came with us onto this adventure, because that's what this prize is about. It's about touring and being able to bring all the information and bring all the craft and all the things we want to create. So it's based on the piece of a concert of Nina Simone in the 70s. And that's why we called it business, because it's actually, she's talking a lot about the business side of it. And our main idea is basically to give to our audience what's happening in the background, what's happening in the wings. So the piece is actually partly presented in frontal setup, and partly the audience will feel at certain points that they are really looking into the intimacy of the creation of a piece or of the movement itself, and plus of the dancer, the performer. So we're trying to bridge, to break this fourth wall and come closer to the audience and bring the audience closer to the stage to try to make kind of like shift. And for me, this is a reason why I really would like to connect to all the audience members, to show it around the world, because this question of breaking the fourth wall, especially now with this like coronavirus, and we were all at home with our masks going out and all those things in different countries, different situations, it is important to make a dialogue again. And Nina Simone is very good at making dialogue. Either you like it, either you don't like it. She's pushing it. And I think what we could also do with this choreography is to really push this connection between all of us. So this is the effort we want to do, we want to achieve, and this is basically what I hope we will make. So, but this, of course, we can do it. Okay, we will do it anyway. But with your help, we will be able to show it to much smaller festivals that would maybe never be able to invite like such a big company, or theaters that don't have the means to do it. And especially now after this crisis, they for sure don't have the means to do it. So the question is, how can we all support each other in a way to be able, so that this information keeps on being spread and shared? That's it. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Thank you very much for this.
I just wanted to tell you which festival and theater are in the story with us. We have Belgrade Dance Festival in Serbia, Labati Festival de Genève in Switzerland, Theater of Reboot in Germany, and Dance in August in Berlin in Germany too. So we hope to go there and to be able to share this great piece to as wide audience as possible. Thank you all for your attention, and we hope to see you soon. Stay tuned on FEDORA's platform for your support, and to see next shortly a video on the piece. Thank you very much.
We will.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So it's now the time for the Q&As, and we actually received a few questions. Two of them are quite similar, and one of them is the last one, so I will pick this one. It's from Sylvie Matz, who is asking, what do you hope to unlock through the FEDORA fundraising campaign 2020? Does anyone wants to answer first? Maybe Phoebe, do you want to go first?
I'm happy to
Sorry,
answer.
yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I think what we're hoping to unlock is reaching a wider and more diverse pool of supporters, and in the first instance, of course, but really it'll also be about promoting the piece and spreading the word about this particular not only just the piece, the performance, but the other ways in which people can be involved. So as I mentioned, there's all these ancillary elements, and both in terms of engagement and in terms of the film and the photographic exhibition. So I think it's both in terms of spreading the word, obviously receiving the support, but also making connections with supporters who want to kind of follow that piece and the life journey that it has. So
thank you very much. I think Claire, you wanted also to answer the question.
Sure. I mean, I echo everything Phoebe said. I think we love to support, to unlock a lifetime of supporters, an international circle of supporters. I think for us, it will be the first time, and through this new platform and the Transnational Giving Europe platform, that we'll be able to invite donors from across Europe internationally to, as I said before, form a circle of support around this project, which would be wonderful. Our aspiration is that it's a truly international project. We'd love to tour it across Europe, and by unlocking some of that support from some of the supporters hopefully listening today, it will enable us to do that, and also widening our casting, which is really important, so that we can invite a wider pool of performers from across Europe to be part of the project.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead, Didier.
Yeah, I think FEDORA is an international organization, and I think it's very important because it can help very much to fight against the temptation to retreat within national borders, that we can observe in many countries, even in France and in many countries in Europe or around the world. And I think it's so important because the arts, the creation and the artist maybe has a way to be still in connections, in understanding everywhere with the people. And so to have the support of organizations like FEDORA will be a great help for the possibilities, but also for the mind, I think.
Well, thank you very much. Maybe some word to conclude, Marion and Ioannis?
Yeah, Ioannis have to leave because he has to finish his rehearsal. I'm sorry, he said goodbye, and thank you for your attention. About your support, yeah, we are a company who goes very much on tour worldwide, and for these partners, I told you before, we don't usually go to them. It would be a first or the second time we could go in Germany, or it would be a first for Serbia and Switzerland. So it is also to be in a European audience, and in a way to touch other audiences that don't know us, and that may know Ioannis already, but that don't know our ballet and our company. And it's important for us. It's a very important part of our politics in Lyon to go abroad and to go also in Europe. So this is the main thing that would allow your support for our project.
Thank you very much for this conclusion. European development, I think it's a great way to conclude for this question. So thank you for all these very interesting insights. I think we have to move on to the next category, and I will give the floor to my colleague François.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am François Gonnet, and I am FEDORA's communication coordinator, and I will present the FEDORA Opera Prize nominees. The FEDORA Opera Prize was launched back in 2014, and it is organized thanks to the support of the Generali Group and in collaboration with our expert partner, Opera Europa. The FEDORA Opera Prize is awarded to cutting-edge opera creations created by promising teams of emerging artists with the ambition to reach international audiences. It aims at encouraging measured risks to help excellent new work reach the stage. Before going into the details of the nominated projects, we'd like to share with you an inspiring video presenting the prize in the category. And the nominees for the FEDORA Opera Prize 2020 are Upload by the Dutch National Opera from the Netherlands, Woman at Point Zero by Loud Music Theatre from Belgium, The Listeners from the Norwegian National Opera and Ballet from Norway, and Flux by Machine from Luxembourg. We are happy to start with Upload, presented today by Rosa Hacker, the Foundation's manager of the Dutch National Opera, and by the composer of Upload, Michel van der Aa. Welcome to you both. You have 5 minutes.
Hi. You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So yeah, my name is Michel van der Aa. I'm the composer and director of Upload, a new film opera that we're creating for next season. I'm making this opera with a wonderful cast and team. Maybe you can share our slideshow so you can see the names. It's a co-commission, an international co-commission, and we're producing it with my own foundation. The artistic team is musical director Otto Tausk, designer Teun Mosk, 2 young dramaturgs, Madelon Karman and Niels Nuiten, and an amazing technical team. I'm extremely happy with the cast, baritone Roderick Williams, with whom I've already done several collaborations, and soprano Julia Pollack. Ensemble Muziekfabriek will perform the score, and they also will be an integral part of the staging. The 2 singers and the ensemble will be live on stage, but the stage will be extended with film projections, which will feature 9 actors playing other spoken parts. So the libretto, the opera is about sort of centers around the question, what if our minds could live forever? Recent developments in AI and neuroscience hint at the possibility to map our brains and our memories and build a digital consciousness from this data. And these mind uploads will be able to carry on after we die. And you could almost see it as a form of religious rebirth, like the afterlife. Well, and Upload tells the story about the father and the daughter. The father is a single parent. He raised his daughter all by himself, and he suffers a severe trauma, and he can't cope with life anymore. He decides to travel to this clinic in Switzerland, housed in an abandoned kurort. And this is the only place in the world where you can have your mind uploaded. The opera features 2 timelines, the present, shortly after the upload father, and the recent past, in which the upload process takes place in Switzerland. In this flashbacks, we see a clinic on film, and we get a guided tour by the staff working in the clinic, and the staff members played by actors in the film. They explain how the upload process works, and we learned that father has to stay there in this clinic for a few weeks. He's being analyzed and interviewed by a psychologist, and his identity is mapped. And we are presented with some important questions. Where do our identities really reside? Is it in our minds, in our bodies, or in the relationship we have with other people? And we get to know some of the important friends and family members, and they're being interviewed as well to create a full picture of this person, a full backstory. We then switch back to the present, where the daughter sort of finds out about the upload of her father. She wasn't part of that process, and she's quite upset with her father. She meets him in the digital form, and they talk about their this new situation. We learn that the daughter doesn't want to be uploaded herself, and this is something that the father expected to be. He expected them to be together digitally forever and forever, and the daughter says that she doesn't feel like it at all. She needs a physical body to exist, and she tells father that scanning her brain feels like scanning a Stradivarius to play Bach. The scientists in the clinic have promised father that while being uploaded, he would be able to suppress this trauma. This was the reason why he did it in the first place. And we found out that unfortunately this hasn't happened, and the trauma is still there. And his daughter is suddenly has to make a big decision to delete her father and to help him with his suffering, basically. Yeah, you already are seeing some of the stills of our renders of the design, and maybe you can quickly skip back to the first render. So the design is done by Teun Mosk. We have 5 screens, 4 square screens in the front, which can move between transparent glass and projection material. And we have a large cinematic screen in the back. And with this constellation, we can make several types of rooms. The screens can move sideways as well. And in the rear, the ensemble will take place, and they'll be very much part of the staging. So they'll interact with the singers, and they help move the screens. They're the scientists in the Swiss clinic. Maybe you can skip forward a little bit. Yeah, so we can create this rooms with the screens behind each other, and we can move to Switzerland to this clinic. One very important technical aspect of this opera is that we're going to make a digital representation of the father figure. So the singer Roderick Williams will be playing or performing a digital version of himself, which is then projected on the screens. And this digital upload we're using sort of new technology for, and it's all done live. So he's almost like a puppet player playing a digital version of himself. This is completely interactive, in sync, and the daughter can sort of interact with it, sing together with her digital father. She can even touch the digital avatar, and yeah, we have several sort of artistic representations of how this avatar will look like, and this also will evolve during the opera. So in a way, our set design is very flexible, and in a way can shape, follow our scenes and shape from very abstract environments to very concrete environments, like the clinic in Switzerland.
Michel, it will be time to conclude if we want to stay on schedule, please. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we're as you can maybe understand, technology plays a large part in this production, but I find it very important to say that, as in all my previous work, it's always in service of a larger idea, of a larger humanist idea in this opera. So we're definitely not focusing on it. But it's an expensive adventure. We're doing a lot of research and development at the moment, and this I feel is where the FEDORA Prize could really come in handy. it's a big adventure and a big risk for us to take, and this would really help us enormously to make this little dream happen for us.
Thank you very much,
yeah.
Michel. We'll be now moving on to the second project nominated for the Opera Prize, which is Woman at Point Zero. And it will be presented by Laila Soliman, but first we'll watch a video which they have prepared for us.
Sorry, can I just make an introduction first?
Of course, Laila, go ahead.
Sorry, we changed the order. Thank you for the nomination and for the opportunity to introduce Women at Point Zero among such inspiring projects. So I was introduced to you. I'm a theater director from Cairo, and this is my first opera. Can we move to the slide, please? Yes, so what I find very special about this opera is that, can we move back to the team, please? What I find very special about this opera is that it's an opera about women in violence, mainly made by a group of women, artists. British Lebanese composer Bushra Turk, South African writer-poet Stacey Hardy, Aidan Maker, the Egyptian filmmaker. But I would also like to introduce that also I'm very happy that Kanako Abe, the Japanese conductor, will be conducting this opera along with the music ensemble of ZAR. But also that scenographer, Syrian-French Bisen Al-Sharif will be the scenographer, and unconfirmed still, Nail Barghouti and Dima Orsho, Palestinian Nail Barghouti and Syrian Dima Orsho will be the main leads, we hope, which would be a great opportunity because it would mean also in terms of musically what voices there will be. So because this project is mainly about collaboration, I would prefer us to watch the video without further ado so that there's a multiplicity of narratives and the different voices introducing the project.
My name is Laila Sliman.
My name is Bushra Al-Turk.
I'm Aida Keshif.
My name is Stacey Hardy.
Woman at Point Zero is a new opera based on the novel of Noel Saadawi, which has the same title, combined with documentary voices of women in prison nowadays.
It really tells a story of one woman who murders a man. In this case, she's working as a prostitute and murders a pimp. But it's a life story, it's an epic story, it's a coming of age story.
This project is my first opera, which is something I've been waiting for. It's also very personal and dear to me because the questions and themes addressed are ones that I'm preoccupied by in my personal everyday life. This piece is urgent because it addresses issues that are still universal everywhere in the world.
We're living in a moment where the question of violence against women and the question of violence against people of color, the question of violence against anybody who is perceived as weak or outside of a very dominant male white tradition is something that's, I think, on the forefront of everyone's lips. And I think that there's an enormous urgency to deal with these things in a myriad of ways. I think taking to the streets and protesting is a really valuable and important thing at this moment. But I also think that there's a real space to try and produce work that allow us to think about the complexities of the questions, that allow us to some way connect maybe with the emotional quality and content of these questions. We have a documentary filmmaker, we have a theater director, we have a music composer, and we have a writer. And I think we're all taking a risk together. and trying to do something that we don't normally do and do something that we don't normally do together.
What's also very exciting for me is working with a female-based crew. Again, we're from different disciplines and from different nationalities, which makes it super interesting, for me at least.
They blow my mind. They inspire me so much and they have so much to say, weaving all the elements together so intelligently and sensitively.
The interesting thing conceptually in this opera is that the attempt is for the music world and the singers to merge. In a way, the singers might also join creating the music as well as being in their roles, but also the musical ensemble will act as some form of a chorus inspired by the idea of the Greek chorus. And the idea is that all together will create a rich universe.
With an artistic compulsion to give voice to marginalized voices through narrative forms and ways of making music. Through the blurring of notation and improvisation and through the blurring of Eastern and Western idioms, I was really hungry to see what would happen if my musical language would explode into the other art forms through the vessels of a multimedia music theatre production. This project is worth your support because you'll be giving voice to the many women that this opera represents.
There's an urgency more than ever now after Corona to reimagine what the arts are, to reimagine opera. And I think that this project is an attempt to reimagine what opera is and what it can be.
Lovely.
Just to conclude, I just wanted to say that this project, combining also documentary material, is an attempt as a tribute to women who speak everywhere out against violence, and how to somehow mediate that in opera, especially representing the voices of women everywhere in the world, but especially in the global south. And I think especially now more than ever with the Corona crisis, with the scene of rise in domestic violence and how structural discrimination cannot stop that somehow. And also with prisoner suffering from the pandemic most in a lot of parts of the world, I think it's become more urgent even to make this project.
Thank you very much, Laila. We're moving on to the third project of the category, which is The Listeners. And we'll be watching a video prepared by the composer, Missy Mazzoli, and the librettist, Royce Favrec.
The reason I make operas is because opera is a place for big ideas, and opera has the scale and the forces to contain some really big, important questions. In the case of The Listeners, this is a piece about the role of charismatic leaders in our society, the need to belong in a modern day world. And this is one woman's journey through that struggle. And so I really want people to come out of it with having tapped into their own feelings about that in a little bit of a deeper way, or an unexpected way. She is in her nightgown. It is, 3 a.m, and she has stumbled out of her house onto the street, and she is talking to a coyote. This sense of unease. Also just a sense of calm and being totally alone in the middle of the night.
With collaboration, you have to make space for people to inform the project and allow it to be better than the sum of its parts, way bigger than the sum of its parts. Now we're writing a piece about an American cult that takes place in the here and now, and her music finds a way of really digging into the psychology of these characters. I think she's just a magician in so many ways. Each project has its own logic, and there are some things that are going to be inherently more abstract, musically and textually, and then there are going to be things that are more narratively clear. And so I think that you have to allow the story to dictate how it is being told.
I think opera's superpower is in its ability to illuminate the subtext, so in its ability to illuminate what's going on inside these characters' minds. They're looking for solutions, looking for an easy solution, and life is very complicated and complex and mysterious.
I hope that when people go and see this work, I hope that they're completely intoxicated by Missy's music. They sort of come away feeling like there is a poetry to this world and a poetry to the everyday.
There's no clear answer to any of these questions, but that's sort of the point. You know, it takes the 2 hours of this opera to get into that sound world and even start to answer these questions.
Very nice. We're moving to the last project, but not the least, which is Flux. And it will be presented to us today by Joel Baldwin, the composer of Flux, through a video which he has prepared for us.
Hello, my name's Joel Baldwin. I'm the composer of Flux, and I'm here just to talk to you a little bit about the musical setting of this opera and some of the themes. This is a highly collaborative piece. From the very start, there was a lot more discussion about how this piece will be shaped and how this piece will evolve. Well before anything was written on paper, any notes or words. And the reason for that is there aren't any words. This is a completely vocalic opera. It's just vowels, it's just vocalizations. And the reason for that, well, there are many reasons, but first of all, it's something that is a challenge both for me as a composer and for everyone else involved in performing this opera. It's a challenge to make sure that the music speaks where the words don't have the opportunity to do that. It's an opportunity for us to explore themes in a more abstract way, and also to sort of use music and the staging to signify the important themes and narratives that run through this piece. The reason I say narratives is because although we have been working on honing in a fairly clear trajectory for this piece, there are many narratives, and it's to a certain extent sort of polyinterpretable. It's changeable depending on your viewpoint. It's like sitting in front of a work of art and seeing it move in front of you subtly, and that's what I've tried to do with the music, is create a kind of at times a sort of soundscape exploring just one idea, whether that's sort of a constellation of sound or objects appearing in focus and out of focus. And then at other times I've employed more conventional kind of melodic writing. There are some very rhythmic sections as well, and all of this together gives a sense of pace and structure, and hopefully a way for someone who might feel more comfortable attaching themselves to a story in a more conventional way can actually latch on to themes in the music and in the staging, and it becomes a very visual experience. So the themes that we explore in the libretto, such as condemnation and also just visions and the mind and psychology. All of those themes sort of come to the forefront when you approach the music and the visuals together, and hopefully what we'll end up with is a very striking piece which feels sort of halfway between a kind of installation and quite a conventional opera in many senses. On one hand, it feels very experimental, it feels quite dramatic, what we're doing, and the changes to sort of the format of opera. On the other hand, it sort of engages with lots of opera narratives and operatic themes. And the idea is for this to be staged in an outdoor setting, a woodland setting, a very well-known setting that will create drama from the get-go as soon as you enter the space. And hopefully the music does the same. It's quite a dramatic score, there's quite a lot of changing elements, but also there's a lot of stasis and times of sort of calm and more reflective music. So yeah, as I said, this piece has been highly collaborative from the start, and it will continue to be collaborative as it goes into the next stages, and we're excited to see where it will go. Thank you.
Very nice. This is now the moment for questions. And we had a question which came both from Zoom and from YouTube regarding the essence of the project. So what is the key message, or what's at the core of your project, and the key message that you would like the audience to take away from it? Perhaps, Michel, you would like to start?
Well, I think this theme of cheating death is something which is as old as the Egyptians, and I think it's something that we can all relate to, and we're on the brink of a potential digital possibility for that to happen. So I think it's a very current theme and a very human theme. My operas usually are about a human point of view and not about larger social things. So I think it will be something that the audience can relate to, and with the technology that we use in service of the idea, I think it will be, yeah, I'm quite excited about it.
Thank you very much. Laila, would you like to add something? Laila, we cannot hear you.
Sorry. I think the main why for us is the question of if cycles of violence can only be broken with violence, and what is a way to resist. And I think the other why is also a conceptual why of we haven't ourselves seen many operas from our parts of the world. So the question of us as women, which is already not very common. I'm counting how many women I saw since the beginning of today. How many women from our parts of the world, if we would imagine making an opera, what would it look and sound like?
Well, thank you very much. I think we have time perhaps for a second question, and it comes from Sylvie. When will your project will come to the stage, and what do you wish to get accomplished with it? Laila, would you like to?
Our project will premiere in Antwerp in April 2021. What we wish to accomplish from it, I think I say it, and I think one of the most important things I think nowadays as someone who's partially based in Belgium, but also who works a lot in Europe, is the question of if representation can change. I think that's one of the things. If we want different audience, also different looking people, different people need to be on stage, different themes need to be dealt with. So I think it's about multiplicity of narratives, multiplicity of voices, And I think this project really attempts to do that through also its collaborative spirit and process.
Lovely.
I hope will also attract a different audience to the opera.
Well, let's hope so. And Michel, would you like to add anything to conclude?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy that my audiences seem to be quite non-regular opera audiences already, and I hope that this opera will continue on that path. And I'm in that respect, I'm also very happy with the cast. I mean, Roderick Williams, I've been working with. This will be the 5th opera that we do together, and we have a very young team, young designers, also the technology team, very young designers, a very diverse team, which I find incredibly important, and which of course is very much an issue that keeps coming up. Yeah, I think for me it's important that we that we have that diversity, and also that technology takes a place not only in our daily lives but also on the opera stage, without it being about technology, but serving, sort of narrowing the gap between the audience, because it's something we can all relate to and all have ourselves surrounded with every day.
Thank you both for your very interesting insights on such actual and relevant topics today. I will give the floor back to Edilia now.
Thank you very much to all of you for these incredibly inspiring presentations about your work. We have spent an afternoon together in a very thought-provoking, inspirational environment, and we're extremely delighted to see that today's topics range from human rights questions to environmental awareness, and also touching on how digital innovation is impacting human interactions and relations. These are all topics that have a crucial part to play in today's world and of tomorrow. And what is always so incredible is to see that artists who are at the forefront, who are conceiving these projects, are emerging talent that have already started thinking about these projects way longer before it actually becomes a topic of society. So for instance, all the projects we heard about today have already been in the work in progress mode since a year ago when we received the applications last fall. So just to give you an idea of the foresight of these bold ideas and projects. It's really, they're really diverse projects, as we have seen, but the common thread of all of these projects is the great commitment of all of the institutions and artists and co-producers and partners who are involved in the realization of these projects, is the commitment to push forward the boundaries of the performing arts and to really, as you said, reimagine what these art forms can be and how through new ways of collaborating, new ways of co-creating new work, one can really unleash creativity and harness collaboration in order to deliver really innovative and bold cutting-edge projects for tomorrow's audiences. And this is has been a really inspirational afternoon, and we really look forward to seeing all of your projects eventually reach the stage. And this is really giving hope to the entire sector, to audiences, to donors. We cannot wait until the curtains will rise again on the stages around the world to be able to admire and be inspired by your wonderful projects. We're extremely thrilled to be able to support you and give you encouragement on this journey. It is absolutely worth it. And to all of you listening to us who followed either in this call or on YouTube Live, thank you for your interest. And we really hope that this has triggered your interest to learn even more and to be even more involved in these wonderful projects. So the choice is yours. You can make a donation on the platform to the projects of your choice, and stay tuned for the developments of these projects over the upcoming months. So thank you so very much. And before we close this call, a great thank you to everyone who has made this project possible, our sponsors, our corporate members and partners, our partners of the prizes, the expert partners, and of course also the incredible FEDORA team. We have been pulling together all of this for you today, and it has been a great pleasure also for me to have Solène, Muge, Hélène, and François put the presentation for you together for today. So have a wonderful evening, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us via email or give us a call. So thank you so much for your attention, and we're looking forward to your support.